What's up guys, it's Morrany here and welcome to a new video on my channel. Last episode we knocked out some dungeons and I showed you the new sets I use on my team. Today we continue the dungeon rusher quests and we start with the Dofus dungeon directly after the intro.
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath of. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
If you run a close combat team in this dungeon, this can drive you crazy. These little Dofus have so many movement points and always run away. You have no chance to get close to him except you force them to use all their MPs to get to you. What I mean by that, look before you place your characters how much MP a Tofu has and place your character in a style that the Tofu must come close to your character and has just one or maybe one or two MP left. Can be pretty handy if you're struggling with your range. Also, I want to give you a short overview what the monsters in this dungeon can do. As I said, all of them have many MP. Only the Dofus has 3 MP. He summons another Tofu every turn which explodes when it gets close to you and makes a small amount of AoE damage. Because the damage isn't so big, it shouldn't be a problem to you and I would save him for last. To start off, I would go for the Tofu case. He's pretty annoying and can make all characters invisible in a circle of 2 cells for 2 turns. The aggressive Tofu is more like a supporter. He gives AP and heals his allies. Also applies a neutral poison that inflicts 5 neutral damage for every AP you use, but this is just a close combat spell, so no problem to avoid that. The Batofu has high neutral and agility resistances and is weak to fire and water damage. He has a variety of spells, but most important is to look for his short range damage and the black Tofu he summons. The combination from the attacks and the summon can hit around 200 damage. Try to avoid that by killing the black Tofu so you don't get too much damage. For me, with the Panda and the range team, it wasn't a problem. As we finish the quest, we get back to the Keymaster and leveled up pretty fast. Panda and Annie are level 55, Kwakwa is level 56 and the Kra is level 54. The Kra has not so much wisdom, so he's leveling a little bit slowlier. Next up is the Kwakwa, so let's meet at the boss room. I hate and love this dungeon at the same time. If you run a character or a team with just one element, I think it isn't possible to complete the dungeon. So make sure you have at least 2 different elements in your team or on your character. As you know from the previous rooms, the Quacks are weak to one specific element. Earth is weak to agility, fire to water, and so on. The Kwakwa has lower resistances to one random element. If you are lucky, you get the element you need, but if you're not lucky, the dungeon can be really hard. He has around 1100 health and a bunch of spells depending on his element. On this base of this random element, he spawns a monster. A Kwakwa, a Bwak, a Kwakere, something like that. This is the point where I start hating this dungeon. The combination of the low range and the zombie achievement is pretty annoying. When you use all your MPs, you could also have a really hard time killing the Kwakwa because of the resistances. If it doesn't fit your team, it will last a little bit longer to kill him. The second achievement is clean hands. That means you have to kill every monster with indirect damage, like pushback damage, summons, traps, bombs, bomb lines, glyphs or poison. For me, it wasn't possible because my Kra is agility, so I can't use the poison arrow, or basically I don't do any damage to this monster with that arrow, and I don't have any chance glyphs on my Fecker, so I decided to keep it simple and finish them off as fast as I can. At the end of the dungeon you get the soul catch-up spell, therefore speak to the little bug over here and you get the spell from him. I think you have to be level 50 to obtain it, but I'm not quite sure. If you know it, please let me know it in the comment section below. As we finish the quest, the team gets pretty close to level 60 and we are already at the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure smack that like button and subscribe the channel, and see you the next time.
Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread.